Hey guys, there hasn't been much going on in Brave Exvius this week. I haven't really done very much on the game. But I got a request to show an updated version of how to farm not toying around legendary version, the Elf on the Shelf. So we're going to be showing a quick and easy way to do it with an Ardyn friend, or your own Ardyn if you have it. So we're going to be using one core unit on our own team, which is going to be Lucas. It doesn't have to be Lucas, we can use alternatives. But we're going to be using Lucas, and then we're going to be using 4 units we can cycle out as needed to get that mission clear in. So the one thing you need on your team is someone to imbue ice to the friend. So we're going to be using Lucas to imbue ice. If you don't have Lucas, you can use like Epsilon Nicole, Yoshikiri, Awakened Dragon Axstar, Physalis. There's a lot of units that can imbue ice, but we're going to be going with Lucas because Lucas can also double duty as our tank. You need smelling salts equipped in your inventory. You need Phoenix with auto med learned and your provoker on Phoenix. So we're going to use Lucas. He's got 50% pass to provoke in his kit naturally. We're going to get the other 50 from the permanent Moogle charm, and the rest of his gear is not really relevant. We're going to use 100% wind resist as well to immune the ambush. So he's going to imbue ice. He's also going to buff attack power on turn 1, which is optional. It'll help a little bit, but there we go. The rest of the team, as you can see from what we're using, can be literally anything. They're going to be just cycle units. You cycle them out every single clear. So the Espers are important, though. So we're going to use Diablos. Now, Diablos needs Imperil and Deprotect Learn as our breaker and Imperil source. You could also use like an actual breaker or an actual Imperil unit. Lucas can actually Imperil Ice by 120 if I wanted to, but I kind of wanted to keep it as universal as possible, so we're going to use Esper skills. Now, if you've got better options, by all means, bring them. But we're going to put a unit on that. We need Bar Aroga from Tetra Sylphide, and we're going to need the Flood Chain skills from Kokuryu and Leviathan. I forget what they're called specifically, but Leviathan's skill is called Violent Current. We need that on Leviathan. And then Kokuryu's chaining skill is called Cursed Current. So you need those learned on these Espers. Now, of course, you could also bring regular chainers and not rely on Esper chains. That is totally fine. But we're going to rely on Esper chains just, again, to make it completely universal. This can work with literally any unit to cycle 4 at a time per clear, and we're going for a turn 2 clear. Because we're killing on turn 2, your tank doesn't even need any evasion, any bulk, nothing. Just provoke. If you go longer than turn 2, you do need evasion or high bulk. But because we're doing a turn 2 clear, don't need any of that. The rest of the team needs 20 or better wind resist, and that's it. So 20 or better wind resist, we're good. As you can see, 20 or better wind resist. 20 or better wind resist, the gear is not relevant on them. Now your support chainers are going to want to be using an ice weapon. That's important as well. So make sure both support chainers are using an ice weapon. So ice brand, and we're dual wielding to make the chain easier. You technically don't even need to dual wield, but we're dual wielding to make the chain a little bit easier. Now the flood chain is innately water element, and the boss is immune to water, but because we're imperiling and double element chaining with ice, it's going to still work. So we're using Aqua Blade to dual wield, 20 or better wind resist, 20 or better wind resist, Aqua Blade to dual wield with an ice weapon. And don't forget, Kokuryu does penalize your wind resist, so make sure you fix that with the unit. And grab an Ardyn friend or your own Ardyn if you have it. If you have your own Ardyn, you could even use an ice weapon and skip the whole imbue thing. But yeah, so Ardyn does have natural fairy killer in his kit. Loki built me one specifically. We're going to try with like a generic not custom built Ardyn after this to see if it works fine or not. But we're going to start off with an Ardyn specifically built for the trial. So you want one that is decently well geared. This is probably geared more than we need. Base form, we don't really care. Shift form, he is geared, exceptionally well for this. Jump damage, he's got the double Ultima Blade, and we've got 300 Fairy. Yeah, so this is like a really, really well built Ardyn. So we're going to overkill by a lot. So go ahead and get it done, and then we're going to try like a weaker Ardyn if we can. So here's the ambush. It always confuses, but because of Phoenix plus Automed plus Smelling Salts, it cures your confusion, so we're fine. So Lucas is going to imbue ice on turn 1, or if you're not using Lucas, like Axstar, Nicole, whoever it is, would imbue ice to the Ardyn friend. And we're going to go ahead and buff Ardyn's attack power as well, just to do it. We're going to go ahead and use the unit on Diablos to de-protect on this turn to break defense, or just use your best defense breaker. We could have dual casted as well and equipped her with dual cast and done Imperil as well on turn 1, but we're going to do it on turn 2. It doesn't really matter. We're going to bar Eroga for 80% wind resist. Now you need to hit the boss with ice every single turn. If you don't, his non-elemental attack will kill your team. So always hit the boss with ice. Because we're using an ice weapon on these units, we're just going to punch, and it's fine. It does count, even though it's resisted. It still counts because we're using ice weapons. The reason it's being resisted is because we didn't Imperil yet. We're going to do that on turn 2. But on turn 1, we're going to go ahead and jump our Ardyn friend. So just jump right away on turn 1. Because we're going for a turn 2 clear, so we can skip like all the mechanics of the fight, basically. So because we used ice damage, the boss is only doing wind attacks and no physical on turn 1, so we're immune with just wind resist. Alright, we still need to Imperil, so we're going to go ahead and Imperil right now to put up the 100% Imperil. So now the boss is defense broken and 100% ice imperiled, which is enough. Now we're going to go ahead and chain with this. Because we Imperil, it'll now actually work. And then we're going to drop the Ardyn after the chain's like above like 15 or so. So we're going to go ahead and chain, and then this should be the end of the fight. So we wait, and then go ahead and just drop the chain. Oh yeah. Yeah, the friend did like 75% on the first hit, and then I got 75% more on the second hit, so we overkilled by a huge amount. This friend is really well geared for it. The boss has 8.5 million HP. We did 1.3 billion, so we overkilled by about 50%. I guess it wasn't that huge of a margin, but it was still a nice chunk of damage. So there we go on the clear. You know, level up your friend units, great way to do it. And we got a clear in. So now we're going to go ahead and try to grab a weaker Ardyn, if possible, to do it again. Let's see if we can find one. I don't honestly have a ton of Ardyn friends. I have too many Noctis friends, so yeah, I got to find an Ardyn. Let's see. Do I have any more Ardyns available? Oh, here's one. Oh, this is an EX3 Ardyn. This might be a little bit stronger. Oh god, this is even stronger than the last one. I mean, this one would obviously OTK as well. We're gonna go for a weaker Ardyn if possible. So let me go ahead and reset the friends list, and we're gonna do another clear in a second. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, let's try to find a weaker Ardyn so we can demonstrate a little bit of a variation of the strategy. See if we can find one. Legendary version, Elf fight. Here's an Ardyn, Albright. He looks well geared. Let me try to find one a little bit lower end, if possible. If not, we'll just grab him. I don't have a ton of Ardyn friends. I guess Ardyn's less popular. I don't know. No one pulled for him. It's only Ardyn. Okay, so we're going to grab this one, assuming the shift form is geared. Please tell me it is. It is. This is really, really well geared. Yeah, this is going to be a super easy OTK. Let me keep looking. I'll be right back again. Alright, guys. I've been trying to find, like, a slightly weaker Ardyn. I just don't have Ardyn friends. So we're bringing Albright, who we saw earlier. He is really well geared. So this is gonna be a super easy OTK. I guess for the re-clear, I'll show what if you don't have Lucas. So if you don't have Lucas, we'll bring like Yoshikiri or something instead. Yoshikiri, there he is, Yoshikiri. And we want to bring someone else to passive provoke. So we'll just bring. You know who we could bring is. Let's see. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can bring the best back. Here we go. For passive provoke, we'll bring Russell because he's the best. So we're just going to gear the passive provoker and full wind resist. Doesn't really matter how you get it, just get it somehow. Let's see. Okay, so full wind resist passive provoker. There we go. That's all they need. And then Yoshi will we'll give him dual cast, because he's going to be imbuing and all that. So dual cast in the shift form he needs a little bit of wind resist. Okay, there we go. So we're going to bring someone else to imbue wind. Because we're going to be imbuing wind on turn 1, we're going to dual cast the break and imperil on turn 2. And yeah, so the rest of the team, and of course we would swap out these. Like you would bring, you know, someone else, like, you know, a 3-star or something, etc. I don't want to swap out. I don't want to re-gear the chainers. So here we go. Like we would just swap out the one using like wind resist, etc. Anyway, you get the idea. It's the same basic concept. Someone to provoke the ambush and the wind attacks on turn 1, and then wind resist for the party, and then someone to imbue ice. So there's the ambush on Russell, who provoked it. That cures him. We're good. So Yoshi is going to just imbue ice, and we'll do a stat buff for the friend. The one on Tetra will bar Aroga. We'll hit the boss with ice on turn 1 by punching the chainers. Russell can discard, and friend is going to jump. We're going to shift and do jump on turn 1. So same thing we just saw. Basically, the only difference is we swapped out Lucas for Yoshi. Best tank Russell is provoking. All the wind attacks on Russell. He's immune to wind. We're fine. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to break with dual cast. We're doing both in the same turn. We're going to deprotect and imperil on the boss. Technically, imperil is not important because Yoshi's ice imperil is there. But in case you're not using Yoshi, like say maybe you're using like Awakened Dragon Axe Star or something. I don't know. You get the idea. So there we go. We're going to chain it up. And I already know Albright's going to super kill this because he's really well geared. But let's do it. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. He OTK'd on the first hit. He didn't even need the second hit. Didn't even need it. So 2.4 billion. Okay, so that friend was exceptionally well geared for that fight. Yeah. Oh, we had Yoshi too, so that's kind of a little bit extra damage. A lot of extra damage compared to Lucas. But anyway, so there's a quick and easy way to farm the Elf fight. So, recap, an Ardyn friend. As long as the Ardyn friend is like halfway decent gear, they're going to blow up the boss on turn 2. A way to imbue ice to the friend. You want to imperil and break the boss with an Esper, or, you know, a unit is fine, but an Esper is all you need. Diablos can learn deprotect and imperil, and dual cast handles that. Wind resist so you don't die, so Tetra handles that. 2 chainers, any chainers work fine. We brought Esper chainers. You could bring regular chainers if you want. And someone on Phoenix with auto med to provoke the ambush and 100% wind resist. There we go. There is a quick and easy farm to do the Elf fight, and then just cycle these 4 units every single clear. See you guys next time.